Today on the channel from Batman, the animated series, and DC McFarlane, we've got Batman, and we've got the Batcycle.
And the spirit of Ultimate Warrior will run forever!
Welcome everyone, Kyle here, and welcome back to the channel for another DC McFarlane unboxing and review. And today on the channel from McFarlane Toys, we got Batman, the animated series. But for all your Batman animated series needs and a whole lot more, make sure you're hitting up Entertainment Earth. Use discount code Kyle. Save yourself 10% on all in-stock items. Anything over $79 does ship free. Got to get a deal right there. And of course, these figures right now currently are a Target exclusive. I think they had a 30, 60, 90-day window of exclusivity to Target. Should be at the Entertainment Earth of the World, places like that in the future. Not sure if Walmart will end up getting these. Wouldn't be shocked to see these at GameStop. We'll see what happens, but we're of course going to unbox all these ones in a couple of different videos like we always do, and we're also going to do this review like we always do. Is we're going to take a look at the packaging, we're going to talk about it, we're going to unbox it, we're going to talk about it, we're going to see where it goes from there. And I figured I'd break it up. I figured I'd put Batman and his cycle together. We'll do Robin and Mr. Freeze together. We'll mix it up. So make sure you subscribe to the channel, all that fun stuff. But let's start it off with Batman, really the star of the stage and screen and the star of the show, as we do know. Batman looking hot right here. And of course, a Batman to many of a generation. Unfortunately for me growing up, Batman was on when I was at school, so I would only catch like 10 minutes of the show on my way home. I didn't get to love it and live with it like a lot of kids did. Of course, got to watch it every single day. I guess I could have put it on the VCR or something like that if I needed to, but I missed out on a lot of the Batman in the animated series, and I wasn't totally sold on it as far as a cartoon. I mean, it was good for what it was. I remember seeing Mask of the Phantasm. Oh, shout out to the Phantasm. But it didn't really capture me as a little kid like some other cartoons did, and maybe it was because of I was maybe a little older at the time. I don't know, but a lot of it probably had to do with me not being able to follow it and watch it all the time like I would have a lot of other shows like G.I. Joe back when I was really little and stuff. However, I always enjoyed the Batman animated series action figures way back in the day, especially the villains. A lot of those villains very hard to track down back in the day in stores. Always on the hunt ever since I was a little kid. My dad and I would buy a lot of the Batman animated series figures because we really did like them. So for me here, a lot of nostalgia with these figures. And this isn't the first time these have been released. They've been released a few other times. But now we're at a mainline release, I guess, with Target stores, things like that. So there's a little history with these figures. The big difference being the cell shading going on these. So the more you know, I guess, out there. But big window packaging like we're used to with McFarlane. Batman animated series logo looking classic down here. McFarlane logo in the corner. We're building the Condiment King. Oh my gosh, a very deep cut character. I think he was only in like a little section there. So that is pretty cool though, a build a figure that not everybody's gonna want. And a lot of people already have kind of figures like this in their collection. Maybe they're not wanting to rebuy them. But the Condiment King's a pretty interesting build a figure if you ask me. Batman on the side looking only like a Batman could look. Batman animated series over here, and then on the back of the package, not a whole lot going on. There's the Condiment King. You can see how to build him. You got a little cross cell down below. Kind of is what it is as far as that goes. I'm going to cut him out of the packaging. Let's get old Batman out. Let's see what all the fuss is about here. Let's pull him out. Not a ton going on. There he is in the old plastic prison. We're going to cut him out. We're going to free him. He's got a cloth goods cape, or a soft cape is what we'll call it there. And oh my gosh, Condiment King locked in big time at the arms here. They don't want him going anywhere. What an interesting supervillain is Condiment King, as I talked about earlier. Oh no! I also see what awaits me here is McFarlane and his super strong tape. How do I get all this tape? It always breaks off. It doesn't just peel off. McFarlane does not mess around in the tape department. There is no doubt about it. There's one. Oh my gosh, this is going to take forever. This is going to take forever to get this. You know what? I'm going to take these offline here in a second. We're going to go through the other one, and we'll get all this stuff out of the package. Oh, we got the card. Don't want to lose that card. We're going to read that here. See you later. Batman, get out of here. We're going to get to it. We're going to get to it all. Bam! See you later. Goodbye. And, of course, see you later. Goodbye. We do get the card here. Batman, real name Bruce Wayne. As a child, Bruce Wayne watches his parents brutally killed in Gotham City's crime alley. Traumatized by their deaths, he devoted his life to becoming the world's greatest weapon against crime, Batman. To become the ultimate vigilante, the Dark Knight disciplined his mind and body to reach the pinnacle of mental and physical superiority in his relentless pursuit of justice. I feel like I've read that same one before, but I always do like getting these little cards with these things, no doubt about it. But we're going to pull this guy out, we're going to go through it, and then we'll dive into all of it here. But the Batcycle looking good, about as much as a regular figure. I think maybe a little bit more than a figure is what it was. I can't remember. It's been a while since I purchased this at Old Target. We do get the Batcycle. Will we get a Batmobile in this line? That'll be interesting. But usual package here, kind of fits in with the rest of them, so we do like that. Looking good with the Batcycle. DC on the side, Batman Animated Series, Batcycle. Nothing too fun there. And then, of course, the back. Get a little bit of this, a little bit of that on the back of this one as well. Let's see what's going on here. Can I get this out of the package? Whoa, we're falling stuff. Stuff's falling around on us. We got a card in here. Can I pop this card out? Gotta be careful. I mean, this card, it could grade a 10. You never know, but it is the Batcycle. It says, the Batcycle is Batman's sleekest mode of transport and perfect for allowing the hero to race at breakneck speeds throughout the streets of Gotham City. How about that? How about that? But there's the old packaging. Nothing too much fun in there. But let me grab all this. Let me get it all out of the package, and we'll be back talking Batcycle and, of course, Batman. All right, we got Batman and his Batcycle out of the package. Let's start with Batman first, then we'll move on to the Batcycle. Of course, Condiment King. We got 2 arms for the Condiment King. We'll deal with him a little bit later. And then Batman himself, we get some accessories with this one, as we do get a lot of different hands. So you do get a little Batarang hand right here holding that. He can give you one of those kind of things. What else we got? 2 fists of Batman Fury. You gotta have those. We got those looking good. You got another one to match that first Batarang hand, looking good there. And then we do got one for, what do we got here? We got the Bat grappling hook molded into a hand, and then you got one separate. And then, of course, the Batarang here, you got to have that all in black. And he's back in black like a young AC/DC here, looking pretty good. But now we're going to turn our attention over to Bruce Wayne, old Batman himself, the stars of the show, no doubt about it. And an interesting scale here. Like I think I said earlier, these were, I believe, DC Direct figures. So these aren't brand new McFarlane figures. They're kind of a rehash figure, a little bit of a re-release with some bells and whistle changes here. So some people may be familiar with these, some may not, but they are not your typical McFarlane figures. And they definitely are a smaller stance figure here. Those McFarlane figures a couple inches taller than him, as you can imagine here. But it does feel like Batman the Animated Series, especially with the shading going on there. Iconic Batman logo in the chest, got the bat belt looking good in yellow. Yellow and black attack throughout on here with little blue highlights here to give it a little extra color, a little extra depth, as we know. Very stoic looking Batman all day long. You know this head sculpt, it's Batman. Got the 2 horns at the top there, the 2 ears. Looking good. You got the side guards on the forearm as well. Really is Batman Animated Series Batman. And we did get one of these from McFarlane back in the day in the more traditional McFarlane scale. That was a deep clearance item. I never picked that up for whatever reason. I don't know. But Batman looking good here. Articulation, arms do go around on him. You do get a single jointed elbow on him. So that's it. You do get the side to side at the elbow. Hands back and forth. Hands removable, of course. Head back and forth. Side to side. Head removable. And we'll get into that with the Batcycle. You do get a traditional ab crunch here on this one. Very traditional ab crunch. He does have a cape. I forgot to mention this, and it's not just for Lando Calrissian anymore. We do got a Batman cape, but this cape feels very, very cheap. It reminds me of the McFarlane Superpower figures. It almost feels like paper, like I could rip this if I wanted to. So not the best cape we've ever got for Batman, no doubt about it. We do get a little bit of legs going on, a little split action, very tight and very kind of weird articulation here. Once again, kind of feels like the Batman Superpowers with more articulation is what it feels like to me. The legs do go up. They did get the split. You do get the legs up. You do get a bend at the knees. You get double jointed knees. A little thin there. I would worry somebody could accidentally break this if you're not careful. Boot cut on him, and then ankles up and down, back and forth. Very pointy, small feet on Batman, so I have a feeling he might be hard to stand. We'll see. Yeah, he might be a little tough one to stand out there. There we go. I got him. I just got to watch it, though. A little bit thin on the feet there for the body style. He does got one peg hole, and it is not a very deep peg hole, so the McFarlane stand is not going to work on him. We're going to try the ringside collectible stand. Of course, the Mattel stand, not perfect, but it seems to work just enough, so you could put him on a Ringside Collectibles Mattel stand if you want to. So, Batman, the star of the show, the one you have to have if you're getting the animated series figures. It's okay. It doesn't have quite the feel and bells and whistles of a traditional McFarlane Toys figure. You guys know what I mean by that. But it does look pretty cool. A nice little sub-collection. But if you think you're going to smoke and mirror these in with your regular McFarlanes, probably not going to be the case for these here. But looking good there is old Batman. Now we turn our attention to the Batcycle. But the Batcycle did come with something. That's why I paired these together, as it came with a helmeted Batman head. So you can pop the head off this one. You can put this head on this Batman if you want to. So I can see some people saying, you know what, I'm buying 2 of these Batman. One to be regular Batman, one to be on his cycle. I do get that at the end of the day, so we'll see. I might end up doing that. I might play a little of that long game, see if I can find one of these maybe on sale or cheaper. Unfortunately, a lot of these 25% off toys, things like that, does not work for this line. That's a bit of a bummer if you ask me, but kind of feel like I have to get a use for this head. I don't know. We'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. Well, let's turn our attention over to the old Batcycle here. Very interesting that we get a little diorama piece here, a little like kind of a street scene going on. You got a manhole cover, probably Ninja Turtles down below here, I'd have to imagine. But you do get a little street scene, and then you do get this little piece here that fits right in. Of course, just prongs right in there very, very easily. Nice clear effect piece. Give it a little action to the wheel on here, the back wheel. Also kind of a little bit of a stand for this. It doesn't stand perfectly. It does have a little lean to it, but not a bad looking cycle. Very, very plain, of course, though, but it does feel like the Batcycle from the show. I don't remember the blue on it, but that could be just my memory. But we do got some blue against the black, but primarily black. Both wheels do run on this one, so you can have this up and down racing if you want to. It's not like they're static wheels. No turn to the wheels in the back, but in the front you do get the side-to-side turn. A little bit of graphics on the front. 2 handlebars there, 2 peg stands down here for his feet if you need them. And then you got a little gauges and stuff like that, but you do get a button on the bottom, and you do get a place for a screwdriver. Get your Phillips ready to replace the battery in here, but it does come with batteries already included, and it does light up. So you get the headlight in the back that lights up. You do get some of these gauges, things like that. There's a headlight in the front that lights up. Looking pretty good. I am here for that. I'm here for that all day long. I like a good light-up toy. Of course, you don't want to leave those batteries in there. They might degrade or, corrode or something. We always have that kind of a thing going on. But it does look interesting as far as a bat bike. Not my most iconic Batcycle. Maybe you have different ones. I always think back to the Adam West days. Once again, it's that little kid bias where you saw that on reruns all the time when I was a little kid. And I enjoyed the Adam West era, but still a very cool piece, and it's always fun in this day and age to get a vehicle for any of these toy lines. Vehicles aren't like the 80s where they were like every line had vehicles. We don't get a whole lot, so when we do, it feels a little bit special. It feels a little bit different. It's a nice change of pace, really, at the end of the day, but not a bad Batcycle for what it is. I like the light-up features. I like the button to turn it on and off, but at the end of the day, kind of just wheels with a chunk of plastic, but that's kind of vehicles in general, I guess you could say. But a fun one here, and if you're into the Batman animated series, I can see you buying this, unless you got these figures back in the day with the little differences. Maybe you don't need this. Maybe it's not for everybody, but this is a chance to get this out to the masses via Target stores and other retailers in the future. Makes a lot of sense, I do think, because this is a very iconic cartoon, as we all do know. But not too bad, and of course, we're going to unbox the rest of this wave on the channel, so stay tuned. Check that one out when that video does come. But there it is, Batman and his Batcycle. Let me know in the comments your thoughts on this. Is this a pickup? Is it a pass? Is it a long game? Is it a no game? Let me know your thoughts on Batman and his Batcycle. Of course, you made it this far. Don't forget to like the video. Don't forget to subscribe to the channels. We got 2 channels, as you guys know. Make sure you subscribe to both of those. And don't forget about Patreon for early access to videos like this, bonus content, exclusive content, giveaways, Q&As, you name it, all over on the Patreon. And Patreon, your best way to support the channel. You can also support the channel at ProWrestlingTees.com. Search Kyle Peterson. And don't forget social media. SirPaul64 on the X, _Kyle_Peterson on Threads, and on Instagram. So for Batman and his Cycle 2, I am Kyle, and I'll see you all real soon.